This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky and I'm here as always. Well, actually not as always. She wasn't here last week, but it's Jess Perkins, and as always, he's on every episode, Matt Stewart.
And he holds that over us, doesn't he?
Yeah. We're talking about how this is episode 99. The 100th live show is coming up, but for us, it's actually not 100. Matt, it is.
Yeah, I'm the only one who can genuinely enjoy the 100th. What are you up to, Jess? What, 36? It's good to see you again for the first time in months, was it feels like. Dave?
I've been here. I took a 2-week sabbatical.
He took one.
I took 2.
I think I've missed the most. I'm sorry about that.
Have you? I reckon you've both missed 2.
No. Oh, yeah, maybe that's right. Yeah, you're right, actually. Oh, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all the times I've been away, but we still released episodes. I forgot that.
You did. You bloody did.
Oh, I'm a bit of a goose. Yeah, thanks for getting Meso in to keep my seat warm.
It was real good. He was great with the Mothman. That big old pile of dust they call the Mothman.
He's great, that Nick Mason.
And we would like to apologise to the good people of the United States of America who apparently take Mothman more seriously than we did on the episode last week.
Really sorry about that, America.
Sorry,
God bless.
America.
God bless you all. And I found one of the names that I forgot to thank, a man named Damn Wags. He was actually a guy at the Sydney live show who put Mothman at the front of my mind, and then I entirely forgot to thank him when the Mothman incident, because there was a Mothman incident where they took the Mothman, like it appeared, it cryptoided into the hat, and it took out the names that said Mothman on it.
Right. Okay.
You haven't listened to the episode, so none of that makes sense, because it does otherwise.
Why would I listen if I'm not on it?
That's a very good point.
I only listen to this podcast to listen to these sweet, sweet tones.
These ones.
These ones.
These ones.
No, these ones.
Got her.
No, these ones.
Oh.
Well, I've got the golden tonsils.
Those ones.
Yeah.
You're going to laugh at a Matt. That's always impressive.
That's funny stuff.
Thank you.
Dave made me laugh once last week as well.
Once?
You guys are on a hot streak.
Wow, we've made him laugh twice in a month.
Only took us 98 and 99 episodes.
No, I laugh occasionally.
There's some life left in you, isn't there?
Yeah, and this old sack of bones. It's not that. I was going to say sack of shit, and then remembered the phrase as bag of bones, but I'd already... Anyway, you don't need to know everything about it. This old bag of bones. All right, cut that in. Thank you.
We are very excited that this weekend, Saturday afternoon, we're doing our 100th live... Well, our first... We are doing our 100th episode live at the European Beer Cafe here in Melbourne. We have sold out the show already, which is really exciting, but just don't forget to come.
I love cafes. I love beer, and I love euros, the currency. So this is really good.
European Beer Cafe. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, they will make you pay in euros, so...
Which is weird, but, you know. And another thing that we'll have that we didn't announce before the Sydney show, but we'll pre-warn people for the Melbourne show, is that we have T-shirts. We have T-shirts that you can purchase.
And wristies.
We do have wristies, and we'll give them away.
Yeah, we give away wristies with the T-shirts.
Yeah, if you buy a T-shirt, you get one wristie.
Yeah.
You don't have to take it now.
And you don't get to choose who gives it to you. It's just whoever's manning the stall at the time. Anyway.
So, yeah, that's just a little note for anyone coming to Melbourne. It's going to be really fun.
And another little note, by wristie, we mean wristband.
Yeah, probably good to clarify.
We probably should just
we have to go on wristbands. And
apparently, wristie doesn't mean wristie outside of Australia anyway. So no one's getting the sick joke.
It's like a hand job. You get it? Like a wristie. Like a hand job.
Oh, wow, I was confused.
Yeah. Like an upward motion on a willy.
Up? Only up.
Only
You
up.
keep going up.
I like
and forever.
It's like an
Forever.
opposite of milking a cow.
No, I just meant it's so long that Jess goes up forever.
Wow. That is a big old willy.
Wow, that's a wristie for you.
Yeah, that's a wristie.
So that's wristies.
Next topic. Speaking of next topic, it is Jess Perkins' report to... it is, I'm not having a good mouth today. It is, speaking of topics, it is Jess Perkins' turn to report on a topic.
Sure is, buddy.
With
Is.
no offence to Meso at all. At the fifth Beatle of our podcast. It is so good to have you back, Jess Perkins.
Aw.
It's great to see your shining face.
Was really not expecting that when you started talking. I was going to be like, I know, he's better than me. We all wish I was dead. I know, I get it. I was not expecting...
Love Matt.
I was not expecting that, and I'm getting a little choked up now. It's good to be back. I missed you, boys.
We missed you too.
But, you know what? I was up in Sydney. And do you know
Scheinberg, you're up in
I was up in Sydney, Scheinberg. Do you know what's nice about Sydney?
weather, the
Yes!
beautiful harbour.
No, the fucking weather.
The weather.
You leave the house and the sun is out. And then the middle of the day,
I
the
just
sun's still out. End of the day, well, it goes away, but it's been up the whole time.
Yeah, the
It
sun
doesn't
shines
rain,
all
then
night
gets
long.
sunny, then rains, and it's fucking snowing. Melbourne, I fucking love Melbourne so much, but the weather sucks balls. And not in a fun way.
Wow, and not in an upwards motion.
Not in an upwards motion. Anyway, so yeah, I was enjoying the Sydney weather.
Sydney's, yeah, they do weather real good.
Really,
I had a
really good.
bloody great time in Sydney. I'm looking forward to going back there.
Yeah, it's a great place. Great place.
Maybe
Anyway,
in November. Who knows?
Maybe.
Sizzle. Anyone working at the Sydney airport? Maybe you might see me through them bloody aisles there.
And Dave got to witness firsthand that I always get picked for the random bomb test.
Oh, okay, we're going.
Random
Explosives test.
random bum test.
Yeah, they always test my bum.
Bumhouse.com.
Has anyone made bumhouse.com yet? So no, Jess, I did witness it firsthand. You said we're going into the security section of the airport to go through to the terminal and, through to the gate. And Jess says to me, I always get checked. But people always say they get checked. We went through, she got checked. You look so innocent that you must be guilty.
Yeah, that must be it.
I reckon people just wanted to talk to you. It was just an excuse to have a chat.
Aw, that's nice. I don't really chat to them much.
Yeah, they've fucking, serves them right.
I'm off the clock.
Mate, if you need a chat, don't go to someone like Bob.
Jess just goes, this again?
I am
End of convo.
off the podcast. I am very cold. I will not talk to people.
Chilly. Very chilly.
In fact, on the podcast.
Icy.
Colder than Melbourne.
That's fucking weather. Anyway, it is my turn to report, and I have
Well, actually, last week was your turn to report.
Yep. Okay.
This is...
You are laying it on thick.
Look, the Mothman Report suffered. It was brought forward a week, and I'm looking to offload any blame of it not being the best episode on it, and it was the best episode. So this is all redundant.
So you're blaming me
But it would have been
for
even...
your success.
It would have been even more the best episode
Exactly.
That's not a
if I had an
sentence.
extra week.
You generally do the reports the day of, so I don't know what the extra week would have done.
Well, I would have been more relaxed leading into it. I would have had a week off, and then I would have been really bloody fresh, and I would have really attacked it with vigor.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been doing it in a weird motel
That is
by
weird.
myself in a Melbourne suburb. Well, you got to listen to the episode because we explain. Anyway,
Why? I'll listen to the episode. Anyway, okay.
don't expect me to talk to you about my life.
God, no.
I got a divorce. I got married since we last spoke, and I also got divorced, and that's why I'm now living in a seedy motel. Thank you.
Okay.
A lot's happened.
Are you all right?
No, my life's falling apart.
Okay.
So's your wife.
God, don't bring her up again.
You can come stay with me if you need, or...
No, rather than the motel.
Nah, yeah, the motel's fun.
Do you have
Dave?
cable television?
Dave has a spare room, don't you, Dave?
No.
He does. I'm sure he does.
I do.
It's a
Dave, that's
two-bedroom
great.
place.
Oh, that's so good. Dave, I'm moving in.
Oh, great.
Oh,
We can be the original odd couple.
Sitcom.
My girlfriend will love it.
They podcast together. They live together.
Yes, let's pitch this.
They shower together. It's the strangest part of their day.
Why do they do it? They both hate it.
Saving water.
Stop making me do it, Matt. I want to wash alone. Rub my back. That's you to me. Beardy and the Boy.
Coming to Channel 9 this spring.
Ooh, the suburb. I mean, fuck.
The season that we're in, you mean?
The season that we're in.
We're about to be in. It's not bloody spring in bloody Melbourne, tell you that, you bloody
It is
boys.
springtime.
It's not, it's fucking cold. Anyway,
Spring has sprung.
it's been 10 minutes. Let's get into the report. I'm very sorry. Okay. I've dipped into the golden hat this week, boys.
Oh.
It's a golden hat from Stuart Alcock. Thank you very much, Stuart. It's very exciting. And I will ask you this question, boys, which I've written. I've written the question.
Wow,
good.
that's respect for you, Stu.
It's at the top of my page, and it's highlighted in bold because I'm a professional. My question is, what is the highest military honour a person can receive?
Oh, I know this
Oh,
one.
Brigadier Major.
It's got to be the Brigadier.
Brigadier.
It's a firm pat on the back.
Yeah, they give you a firm pat.
Bloody job well done.
Which army are we talking? If we're talking about the English army, I reckon it's a little nod. It's just like a knowing wink. I think that's about as good as
You did your job.
Yeah. The knowledge in yourself that you did. In the Aussie army, it's a bloody cold tinny of beer. In the American army, it's a bloody, like those big cannons. They shoot them over your head, and there's like 1 million people standing around watching. And everyone says, God bless you, sir.
And then they play, any way you want it, that's the way you need it, any way you want it. Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's you're correct, and that's what my report is on.
12 gunshot salute.
If it's in the North Korean army, your name is Kim Jong-un.
That's the highest honour.
Or Kim Il-sung, the founding father.
Founding father.
Okay,
He's
any
the one who
other
found him.
countries' military honours you can think of?
I'm going through all the big ones. I've included New Zealand. It means you get to use a gun for a week.
Oh, wait.
You get to use the country's
The gun, yeah. I said a gun, I meant the gun.
We've got one.
You get to use the gun.
Very peaceful nation. The gun actually shoots love. It's a love
You
gun.
get to use the love gun.
Oh, and you just stroke up.
Oh, forever up.
Canada's similar. You get to use their love gun on a moose.
Why?
I know, they're already on a moose.
Why haven't they?
Your moose gets to ride a moose.
Oh, that's living.
With the love gun.
Why?
Pew pew.
Have they done anything with the love gun to cure war? Cure
Yeah.
to end war.
War is a disease. It is.
It is.
We need a cure now. We need
Why haven't
Robert
they-
Smith again. That's 2 weeks in a row we've done Robert Smith.
love
references.
cats.
These guns shoot love cats. Meow.
And they wear eyeliner.
Meow.
Chairman Mao.
What was the question again? Have we got it yet?
Sure, it's got to
Do
be.
you love cat again?
Meow.
We got to get a gif of that face.
He's winking. And
I imagine it would
being
be
all
real
smug.
gross to look at.
Oh.
I fucking love it.
Wow, we've had the opposite reactions. I've fallen in love with that look.
Oh.
Was that your love gun?
No.
Yeah, that was my love cat
It
gun.
worked. He's not firing blanks.
It's when... it's when he winks. It's so creepy.
No good. Yeah, I would not want to be looking at that. That's a powerful gun. It's a powerful gun. Use it wisely.
I can't handle it.
But if we were to get back on to the topic,
Highest military honour.
Have we got it?
do you
Is the
Love
correct answer
cat,
amongst
love
them?
gun.
it's got to
Your
be. Matt, I
moose
think
can
you
ride
know
a
this as
moose.
well. Do you know this?
The two that are coming to my head are Purple Heart, which I can't remember what that means. I think that's a bravery thing, and Victorian Cross.
Victoria Cross is the top one in the UK.
And Victoria Cross is correct.
Yay!
So the Victoria Cross is the highest award of the United Kingdom
the
honours
United
system.
Cat.
The United Cat.
And that's the one that Victoria Cross, and it's originally made out of that cannon
Ah.
Yes.
from
Star Wars film canon.
Yeah, it's,
Wow.
yeah, the official stuff. They crush it up, and then they make a cross.
It's me crushing it. It's giving it a crush. It's all good.
Is
Ready
it
to go.
Little pestle and mortar.
Yeah.
Is it cannon taken from Russia, from like the Charge of the Light Brigade or something like that.
Something like that. Yes.
Jeez, you got knowledge. You got knowledge dripping out your bloody ears, mate.
Do you know what the VC is awarded for?
Oh, it's usually usually have to die to get it.
I'm
not
going to
true.
say above and beyond bravery.
Basically, so it's awarded for gallantry in the face of the enemy.
I think most people that get it die.
Is gallantry
No.
the one where you open
no,
a door
but-
for a lady?
The majority of people that get it have
here
died
you go,
doing
Dave.
it.
Every single person who's been awarded the VC has or will die.
God,
Because we all die.
You've got knowledge dripping out your ears.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we all die, Maddie. You hopefully soon.
Fuck.
Well, let him get the cross first.
So, so it's gallantry in the face of the enemy. So it used to be
Better get right up in their grill.
they added it in the face of the enemy. So it's not like you're miles away from the action, but you've been very brave. Like this guy has not cried at all today.
I sent a real strongly worded email to Hitler. Stop it. Stop what you're doing. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you ostracize me from our social group, because I know you and my wife are very tight. I don't even care what happens. Hitler, stop it.
Send.
No. Send. Thank you.
All my love, Matt.
No.
Oh no, that was my email signature. I should have changed it.
Oh no, I replied all.
Well, the whole Nazi army got it.
Gobbies and everyone.
Now they've got Hitler's email. God, he'll be upset by
He
that.
is going to be real pissed.
Oh, fuck.
Stop it. I like the gesturing you were doing there too.
Stop it.
It's a very firm index finger. Stop it. Doing all of that.
So this is about the Victoria Cross.
It is about the Victoria Cross. It's about a very specific Victoria Cross winner, or recipient, maybe I should say.
No, winner. They won.
They won.
I fucking got it!
Won!
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it.
Anyway, you won.
Brown and a Victoria Cross.
But I
Play
want
that at the ceremony.
but I want to talk about the Victoria Cross a little bit in general first, because some people may not know all that much about it. So it's kind of nice to know what it is and why it's awarded to people, so that you can get an idea of.
Oh, do you know the actual facts about that canon thing? Sorry, I should have guessed.
I read it, but I did not put it in my report, and now I'm regretting that. It is made from a canon thing. Do you feel the need to look it up, don't you, Dave?
No. Yes.
Okay. Look it up while I do this part, okay?
Perfect.
Okay, great. So the Victoria Cross, it was previously awarded to Commonwealth countries, most of which have established their own honour systems now and no longer sort of acknowledge the British honour. But like Australia, for example, still has the Victorian Cross, but it's for Australia. It may be awarded to a person of any military rank in any service and to civilians under military command, although no civilian has received the award since 1879. So it is now mostly just people serving in the military. The VC was introduced on the 29th of January in 1856 by Queen Victoria to honour acts of valour during the Crimean War. Since then, the medal has been awarded to 1,358 times to 1,355 individual recipients. So a few people have received it twice.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Because it's
How does that? Oh, because it's for one act. So
One act. You can get it
Wow.
twice.
So can you get it like in the same battle, or is it more likely to have happened across different
Different times.
times? It's not like when you get 2 speeding fines going down the same highway.
It's not like that at all.
Matt, you got to take victories wherever you see them. I won 2 speeding fines. They said it couldn't be done, but I did it. I did 200 kilometres an hour in a school zone.
I killed 4 kids!
Well, so they fined me twice.
That's beautiful.
And for every second child, they gave me a fine.
And funnily enough, not funnily enough, but just interestingly, since the Second World War, only 15 medals have been awarded. 11 to members of the British Army and 4 to the Australian Army. So since the Second World War, only 15. So that's not that many in quite a long period of time.
Yeah, I guess there hasn't been. No, there's been some pretty big wars in
There's
that
been some
time.
pretty big
yeah.
wars. But we're just a bunch of pussies now.
Or maybe they've get.
don't make them like they used to.
Well, that's what they say.
Boys
Bloody
back in the day,
millennials.
they blooded you bravery. I tell you that for free. These people are incredible.
No, they definitely did.
Yeah, no, good
They
on them.
definitely did. Mm.
Beginning, have you found it, Dave?
So the story is that the original medal for the original crosses comes from a Russian cannon captured at the Siege of Sevastopol, which is part of the Crimean War, which is also where the charge of the Light Brigade.
Gotcha.
So vaguely on the right track there.
I did actually read that the stuff that they make it from now, which may be the same thing, is like kept in a vault, and it's like really, really well protected, and it's, yeah, just.
Do you reckon anyone will ever receive a Victoria Cross for protecting the metal that gets made into Victoria Crosses?
Amazing!
That would be cool.
Imagine that. You'd make a daytime movie out of that one, wouldn't you?
Bloody. Bloody would. I bloody would. I'd watch that. Get the popcorn ready. So what are you doing, a daytime movie?
I don't know.
Nah, you're doing the vacuuming usually. You're vacuuming, you're like, just a little bit of something in the background.
Yeah.
Daytime movie.
Yeah,
Just Elvis trying to act.
You're
What's Elvis?
always on
He's in
my
Hawaii,
mind.
or he's riding a motorcycle around inside a dome.
In a Hawaiian island.
I've been singing that at work
Good
lately.
Elvis.
Anyway, so beginning with the Centennial of Confederation in 1967, Canada, followed in 1975 by Australia and New Zealand, developed their own national honours system, separate and independent of the British or Imperial honours system. So as each country's system evolved, operational gallantry awards were developed. So the VC for Australia, we have our own sort of VC now.
So it's now called the Victoria Cross of Australia or something like that.
VC for Australia, and the Canadian VC, and the VC for New Zealand. So VC for Australia, VC for New Zealand, Canada VC. Come on, Canada.
Canada. Yeah, there's some of them. They like changing things around. Like, I always thought it was weird when, like, on the Mighty Ducks, it was Team USA. I'm like, surely it's the USA team. Team USA.
No, that sounds better.
Well, you grew up in a different generation, a different era, you know? You grew up post-Mighty Ducks. I grew up on the tough streets pre-Mighty Ducks.
You grew up in the gold rush.
Well, that's pre-Mighty Ducks. I was there with Emilio Estevez, but while he was still, like, on his way up in the hockey world. Before I can't remember, hit trouble, ended up having to drive a limousine for some reason and look after these troublesome kids on the ice.
There's no shame in driving a limo.
They were a ragtag band. There was no way they were going to ever play hockey at a high level, let alone be Team USA, the USA team. No, you're right. The USA team sounds ridiculous. I don't know.
It's like saying Australia team.
Child me was an idiot.
Australia team. Team
Yeah.
Australia.
The Australian team. I don't.
Sportswoman of the Year. Can I go on?
Yes.
Thank you. Before the Crimean War, there was no official standardised system for recognition of gallantry within the British Armed Forces. There's a growing feeling among the public and in the royal court that a new award was needed to recognise incidents of gallantry. I just like saying gallantry a lot too. Queen Victoria had instructed the War Office to strike a new medal that would not recognise birth or class. So previously you had to be like a certain rank to get any kind of awards, but now she's like, no, if you just, do something pretty badass, you should get an award. It was meant to be a simple decoration that would be highly prized and eagerly sought after by those in the military services. To maintain its simplicity, Queen Victoria, under the guidance of Prince Albert, vetoed the suggestion that the award be called the Military Order of Victoria and instead suggested the name Victoria Cross. The original warrant...
Which is how she felt at all the people trying to tell her what to call her award.
Victoria Cross.
Oh my God, she's angry.
We could call it Victoria Cross. Victoria Happier.
Victoria Hungry. You're not you when you're hungry.
Victoria need nappy change. Albert?
The original warrant stated that the Victoria Cross would only be awarded to soldiers who have served in the presence of the enemy and had performed some signal act of valour or devotion. The first ceremony was held on the 26th of June in 1857, at which Queen Victoria invested 62 of the 111 Crimean recipients in a ceremony in Hyde Park in London. Now there's a
So the other 50 didn't get a bit of time with the Queen.
They didn't get any time with the Queen.
Devastating.
Maybe some of them, as you had suggested,
Oh, actually.
Worded. But
Oh, dear.
others maybe had something on that day.
Right, like their own funeral.
You'd probably go. To be honest, you'd probably go. Come meet the Queen. I've got soccer.
I've got to play Emilio Estevez in a game of hockey.
Yeah. You know what he's
Would
like.
you? Oh no, you guys probably would go meet the Queen.
You wouldn't meet the Queen if you're given the opportunity?
I don't. Well, like depending on what was on that day.
You got nothing on that day. Absolutely nothing.
If I've got nothing on that day, am I feeling all right?
Yeah, you're feeling pretty good.
Feeling tip top?
Tip top.
Why don't I have any plans?
Because all of your friends are meeting the fucking Queen.
All my friends are there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably go along.
You sheep.
You wouldn't meet the Queen?
If my friends are there.
All right, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm so there. Bloody bow to her.
I'd
shake her
curtsy
hand.
the fuck out of her.
I'd get
I
a
reckon.
selfie with a selfie stick. I never even owned one of those. I'd buy one for the Queen.
I'd give her a love cat gun.
I hate that so much. This is kind of
She
interesting.
said love wrong.
There's a single company of jewellers, Hancock's of London, and they have been responsible for the production of every Victoria Cross awarded since its inception.
That's cool.
That's cool, right? That's cool.
So,
They're shit at everything else, but they're Victoria Crosses.
Well, I mean, they're the only ones who've ever done it, so I guess.
but they've gone through some dry patches over the last,
Yeah.
60 years. They've made 17.
They're like, come on, show some bloody gallantry.
Come on, you
dogs.
pigs.
Be gallant. Gallant. As the highest award for valour of the United Kingdom, the Victoria Cross is always the first award to be presented at a ceremony, even before knighthoods.
Yeah, I think. And do knights have to bow to someone with the Victoria Cross?
Yeah. Oh, I think so, yeah.
It like outranks nearly everything.
It outranks everything. Owing to its status, the VC is always the first decoration worn in a row of medals, and it's the first set of post-nominal letters used to indicate any decoration. So let's say you're like a Matt Stewart VC, OAM, ma. It's all, VC's always
You also
first.
you threw in an Order of Australia.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, you didn't put my BA in there though.
No, I did not put your BA in there because I figure your Victoria Cross and your Order of Australia probably go before your Bachelor of Arts.
Interesting take.
I'm saying VA goes first.
Yeah, you're saying that.
Oh my God.
You're playing by the Queen's rules yet again.
I'm just pointing out something that's kind of interesting.
That's
think?
no,
I think
that
it's-
was interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
No, it's fine.
I thought I was just having a little muck about.
Yeah, but
I didn't mean.
I mean,
Matt, do you not get it? You don't muck about with the VC.
I'm
don't muck
starting to get
about.
it.
You
I'm
don't muck
sorry, I
about.
get it now.
have a little respect.
No, it's made out of a cannon.
Yeah,
Obviously you got to respect it.
Bow to my cross. Bow to it. I've got one. I'm one of the 17. One of the 4 Aussies.
What?
It's probably really offensive, I'm sorry.
I think
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Similar acts of extreme valour that do not take place in the face of the enemy are honoured with the George Cross. So if you're really brave but there's no Nazis around, you can still get a George Cross,
George Cross.
which is still pretty cool.
So that's why there's only been 17 awarded, because there's less and less Nazis around.
Yeah, there's less of them.
Was George is Victoria's son or something? He was a future king,
You know
right?
I'm not great with the...
With the monarchs.
There's so many of them. There's so
Yeah.
many Georges and Richards.
I feel
And...
like was George Elizabeth's dad? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No, that was... Maybe? Albert.
Albert, but then he did change his name.
His
He changed
his king name was George, wasn't it?
Yes, his regnal name.
Regnal, love it. All right. Sorry, Jess. I've really thrown the brakes on this sweet
Anyway,
progress you were making. Please
George,
do go on.
George Cross is really good. Still very good. Has equal,
George Cross.
equal precedence, but it's awarded second because the GC is newer. But it's still like quite an honour. There's widespread thought. There's this belief that it's kind of the done thing, like you were kind of mentioning, Dave, that all ranks would salute a bearer of the Victoria Cross. There's no official requirement that appears in the official warrant for the VC. Or in any of the Queen's regulations and orders. But tradition does dictate that this occurs, and as such, the Chief of Staff will salute a private awarded a VC or GC. So anybody will salute a Victoria Cross winner.
That's
How
awesome.
fucking cool is that? That's very cool. The original royal warrant involved an expulsion clause that allowed for the recipient's name to be erased from the official register in certain wholly discreditable circumstances, and his pension would be cancelled. 8 were forfeited between 1861 and 1908, so they may have committed crimes or something like that. But King George V felt very strongly that the decoration should never be forfeited, and in a letter from his private secretary, Lord Stamfordham, on the 26th,
That's so good.
good name, in July of 1920, his views are expressed thusly. It doesn't say that on my paper, but I wanted to say thusly. The king feels so strongly that no matter the crime committed by anyone on whom the VC has been conferred, the decoration should not be forfeited. Even were a VC to be sentenced to be hanged for murder, he should be allowed to wear his VC on the scaffold.
Wow.
He's saying, doesn't matter what he's done post-VC, if he's been given that award and that honour, that's, that's enough.
And that's the Queen's grandfather there talking.
Right.
Now, 3 people have been awarded the VC and Bar, the Bar representing the second award of the Victoria Cross. Now, they are Noel Chavassi and Arthur Martin Leake, who were both doctors in the Royal Army Medical Corps for rescuing wounded under fire, and New Zealander Charles Upham, who was an infantryman for combat actions.
He stuck it right up on.
Upham remains the only combatant soldier to have received a VC and a Bar.
So is a bar just like with honours type thing?
It's
like
it's a
even
second
higher?
VC. So instead of getting a second little medal, it's like, here's your VC. And
Is it all for one event though?
No, separate.
Oh wow! So you're brave twice.
Brave twice.
Yeah, this isn't 2 speeding tickets on the highway.
No.
Dave. So that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, sorry, I was.
And it's Charles Upham that was suggested by Stuart Alcock, and that is who I am going to be speaking about in more detail today.
I'm kind of glad because that was. I thought it was just going to be an hour of you going. All right, here
Here's
are
some fun
some
facts
more.
about... No, but I just wanted to give some context as to what the award is.
Sick.
No, that's cool.
I feel like a lot of people, particularly younger people, because it hasn't happened as much in our sort of, in the last 20 years, say.
Yeah, I always knew it was something that you have to greatly respect, but wasn't.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I had it in my head as well that maybe you had to die to get it, but it basically you had
Well, you
to
don't
put
have to
yourself
die,
in the.
But
You
a lot
have
of
to
the
take the chance that you probably will die.
yeah, I just know that a lot of people are awarded it posthumously, especially in the First and Second World War when people were dying a lot.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, I find, it's funny, love him or hate him, but Jeremy Clarkson has done a really, really good documentary about the VC.
Hate him.
And his father-in-law, I think, actually
Love
has
him.
won a VC as well. But
Yin the yin and the yang.
the common thread seems to be that they're not the type of guys who go, yeah, I did this, whatever. Like they won't talk about it. Often you can't find a lot of detail about what they've done, but it's always something. They've always put themselves in, like they've basically run into fire. Basically,
Yeah.
they're crazy. And Charles Upham is a fucking mad dog. So he was born in central Christchurch on the 21st of September in 1908.
Oh, he's a Kiwi.
He's a Kiwi.
Oh, sick.
And the son of...
So he didn't get the love gun.
he didn't get the love
I
gun.
don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you
I was
don't
sure
know.
that was a fact.
He was the son of John Upham, a lawyer, and his wife, Agatha Mary Coates. No one knows what Agatha did, but, it was 1908. She probably didn't do anything other than have children and sit quietly.
As
What
Matt
a
and
life.
I leave that comment and sit quietly.
He attended Canterbury Agricultural College, which is now known as Lincoln University, and he earned a diploma in agriculture in 1930. He worked first as a sheep farmer, later as a manager, and then valuing farms for the New Zealand government.
He worked with sheep in New Zealand.
I know.
Unheard of.
Unbloody believable, mate. You wouldn't read about it.
You guys know that apparently outside of Australia, like around here, the joke is New Zealand and sheep. New Zealand and sheep, isn't it? Am I right? Them New Zealand and sheep people, am I right? But apparently, like in England and America, they're like Australians and sheep. I was travelling and people were going, oh, you love the sheep, eh, down there? I'm like, no, that's New Zealand. You got us all wrong.
New Zealand fuck shit.
No, not us, no. We're not the ones that the dumb joke is about.
Yeah. Now, so you got a taste of the
No,
medicine.
we make that joke.
Do you still make that joke
No,
now?
I never made that joke.
Now that you see how much it hurts?
No, I've never made that joke. I love New Zealand.
No, don't bully me. Bully them. Bully them.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
bully
like,
them.
I was like, you guys have got it all wrong.
Aww. So yeah, in September of 1939, he enlisted at the age of 30, and he was soon promoted to temporary lance corporal, but initially declined a place in an officer cadet training unit. In December, he was promoted to sergeant, and a week later sailed for Egypt. In May of 1941, Upham was commanding a platoon in the battle for Malim Airfield. During the course of an advance of 3,000 yards, his platoon was held up 3 times.
Has he just rocketed through the ranks? No. Yes. No.
Kind of, yeah, pretty quickly. So, September of 1939, he enlisted, and then he, I think December of maybe the next year, he was a sergeant.
And then he's running a whole bloody platoon.
Yeah. And he's carrying, so while he's carrying a bag of grenades, which was his favourite weapon.
A bag of grenades.
Bag of grenades.
Everyone choose a weapon. Shotgun bag of grenades.
Like,
What kind of bag are you picturing? I'm picturing like a nice velvety satchel.
oh, I was thinking like a Hessian sack, but
Hessian
you're
sack,
right.
I definitely had a...
Velvety satchel is much better. But I'm also imagining, when you said velvet, I'm imagining purple, which doesn't really go
purple.
with his outfit, but right, that's what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
thinking too,
Yeah, purple, yeah. Regal.
No, I'm imagining him in... the grenades are inside a giant bag that's shaped like a grenade.
Wow, yeah.
That's
Over the
better.
shoulder.
A backpack.
So people know what to expect before they die.
Yes, that's good.
No, but then he, like,
I just like saying satchel. It's a fun word to say.
it is a fun word. But his bag looks like a grenade, so people like, well, they can't put grenades in there. That'd be too obvious.
Yeah.
He's probably got machine guns in there. And then he pulls out grenades. They're like, oh, he's quite literal. And I respect that. So they respect him before they die.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is nice. That's why you get a VC. So he's carrying a bag of grenades, and he first attacked a German machine gun nest, killing 8 paratroopers, then destroyed another which had been set up in a house. Finally, he crawled to within 15 yards of an anti-aircraft gun before knocking it out. When the advance had been
He
completed...
took it on.
He took it on...
They did 10 rounds.
I'm
knocked it out.
picturing him just jumping on guns, like big,
Yeah.
and just punching them.
Yeah, TKO.
Punching tanks in the face.
Take that, and a bit of that, and a little bit of this. When the advance had been completed, he helped carry a wounded man to safety in full view of the enemy, and then ran half a mile under fire to save a company from being cut off. Like they were, yeah.
Is this all in one day?
All in one day.
This is crazy.
2 Germans who tried to stop him were killed. You can imagine how.
What, with grenades?
With grenades.
By him?
By him. The next day, this is the next day.
I'll
What's
just-
the next day now?
He's got a wounded body over one shoulder. With the other, he's dipping into the satchel, just pulling the pins out with his teeth.
Yeah. The German guy's like, I'll just stop you right there. Oh!
The next day, Upham was wounded in the shoulder by a mortar burst and hit in the foot by a bullet. Shot, you could say. Hit in the foot by the bullet. Undeterred, he continued fighting and with his arm in a sling, hobbled about in the open to draw enemy fire and enable their gun position to be spotted. So he's like using himself as bait so that they knew where the guns were so that they could then attack
That's so
those
Wow.
places. While with his unwounded arm, he propped his rifle in the fork of a tree and killed 2 approaching Germans as well. So he's just like...
What, so he used the tree to hold up the gun?
Yeah, because his other arm, he was hurt in the shoulder.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he maybe our baddest ass yet?
It keeps going. During the retreat from Crete, Upham succumbed to dysentery and could not eat properly. The effect of this and his wounds made him look like a walking skeleton, which is what one of his commanding officers noted down in a diary. He looked like a walking skeleton. Nevertheless, he found the strength to climb the side of a 600-foot ravine and use a Bren gun on a group of advancing Germans. At a range of 500 yards, he killed 22 out of 50.
Did you say bread gun?
Bren,
Oh, Bren.
love gun. A bread gun. It's just shooting baguettes at him. Also, but it's got different settings
Kill 'em
on
with
it.
carbs.
What's your favourite type of bread?
Oh, light rye.
Baguettes. You've nailed it in
yeah,
one.
they're good, aren't they?
Yeah, real good.
Get a bit of dip,
Yeah.
some cheese.
Bit of maybe olive oil.
Who's manning the olive oil gun?
Bit of ducker.
And sorry, did
Or
you just say
dukkha?
light rye?
I love a light rye.
I love a dark rye. Yin to my yang, my man.
I like a light rye too.
Let's rye together.
Rye or die.
That's what he would yell with the bread gun. Rye or die, motherfucker!
Rye and die.
I like just a bit of a treat, just like a white roll, but nice and like crusty on the outside, but real soft on the inside,
Yeah.
and just like fill it full of just yummy things.
Oh, yeah. I'll go make you one right now. Oh, you've got it all wrong.
Just
Gummy
yummy.
bears. Squeeze in like a Ferrero Rocher. I don't know what I'm just having a stab here. I've put in...
These things are yummy. So, his subsequent... So, the range of 500 yards, he killed 22 out of 50 approaching Germans. His subsequent VC citation recorded that he had performed a series of remarkable exploits showing outstanding leadership, tactical skill, and utter indifference to danger.
He is not different to danger.
Even under the hottest fire, Upham never wore a steel helmet, explaining that he could never find one that fitted him.
Too big or too small?
So he's not wearing a helmet this whole time, by the way. Wow. This guy's so fucking cool.
I want someone to make, I was going to take it on myself, I want someone to make an Avengers of these badasses. You got Mad Jack Churchill, you got Upham, you got the three Ronnies.
The three Monties.
Three Monties.
Including Tex. Remember Tex Banwell?
Tex Banwell.
So good. In 1941, Upham was presented with his first Victoria Cross medal. When he was informed of the award, his response was, "It's meant for the men." Meaning it's
He
like...
hates women. I knew that. I knew there was going to be a seedy undercurrent eventually. Seedy underbelly.
There it
Upham. Oh, that's really disappointing. I was just really coming around to him.
Anyway, yeah, he meant that it was for them that he did the... Anyway, all right. A quote from the citation when the award was presented. It goes, "He showed superb coolness, Matt."
Real? They wrote superb coolness.
Coolness.
Imagine being presented with an award for superb coolness.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
I just cannot.
It's within my grasp.
Superb coolness, great skill and dash, and complete disregard of danger. His conduct and leadership inspired his whole platoon to fight magnificently throughout, and in fact was an inspiration
To the hit song, "Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it."
Wow, he would have loved that. That is supreme cool.
That is supreme cool. Supreme. Is it supreme cool?
So-
Superb cool.
Nah,
You're
supreme cool.
thinking of a kind of Doritos.
Supreme cool.
Hey Jess, sorry, can I just stop you right there for 1 second? I'd love to talk about one of my real passions.
Okay.
Just very briefly. You know me, I love a clean, close shave.
Well, you're all about the clean, close shave.
Well, I mean, I know you guys think I'm joking, but I do. There's about an inch below my beard, which I shave, and when I do shave, I got to shave with Harry's.com shavers.
Harry's Shavers.
Oh, is this episode brought to them by harryshavers.com?
Well, it could be. That'd be a coincidence if it is. I just wanted to just butt in here.
Actually, yeah, man. I think this episode is brought to the good listeners.
By the good people at Harry's.
Well, that works out really nicely.
And Matt, can I just ask you to tell me more?
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, if you'd like to. What I love about Harry's shavers is the way I get a nice, clean, close shave. The blades just glide along my inch of skin.
Along your neck.
Along my neck.
Under your beard.
I'm no neck beard. Unlike you, Dave, with your... No, you obviously Harry as well.
Well, the thing is, people seem to think that I don't have any facial hair, and that's because I use Harry's every day.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'm actually twice a day. I'm a very hairy man. Well, the good people at Harry's have helped me out.
I thought it was twice a week.
Twice a day.
I misheard.
Twice an hour. I'm
Wow.
very hairy.
You are an astute man.
Yes, I am.
All hairy men know what that means.
Yes, I do.
Nah, he's a real hairy guy. But yeah, what I like about Harry's, obviously, is that they gave me quite a few free razors, and they do the bloody job. But also, they're very good value.
So it's a subscription style shaving service where they send you shaving cream and shavers every month, so you can shave every month.
Yes, you can shave every month, Dave, like you do.
It's that easy.
He admitted it. He shaves once a month. Sucked in.
With Harry's. No, legit, I love their product. It's good. It's good stuff.
They bought an old German factory with 100 years of razor building experience. So you know it's good.
100 years. I trust him.
Yeah. German engineered blades. You can't beat that.
You cannot beat that. Actually, you can beat that because you can try it for free if you use the code, which also helps out our show a lot, if you just want to give it a crack, if you go to harrys.com/do-go-on.
Yeah, do that.
All you do is you got to pay the shipping, and if you don't like it, you can just keep it for free.
Yep. Just got to cover shipping.
That's all you got to cover. So head over to harrys.com/do-go-on and start shaving. I mean saving. No, I mean both.
Oh boy, Jess, please, do go on.
His second VC was earned on July 15 of 1942 when the New Zealanders were concluding a desperate defence of the Ruisat Ridge in the First Battle of Alamein. Upham ran forward through a position swept by machine gun fire and lobbed grenades into a truck full of German soldiers.
What?
When it became urgently necessary to take information to advance units, which had become separated, Upham took a jeep on which a captured German machine gun was mounted and drove it through the enemy position. At one point, the vehicle became bogged down in sand, so Upham coolly ordered some nearby Italian soldiers to push it free.
Hey you!
Though they were somewhat surprised to be given an order by one of the enemy. Upham's expression left them in no doubt that he should be obeyed.
You're fucking kidding.
That's great.
The enemy pushed him out when he was bogged.
Whoa. They probably didn't even speak the same fucking language.
No.
His gesturing was
body
so
language.
good
Yeah.
that they were like, we better do what he says.
You, push.
You push. Me, drive. Me, kill
Me.
you.
You, later. But now, push. By now, Upham had been wounded, but not badly enough to prevent him leading an attack on the enemy's strong point. He was shot in the elbow, and his arm was broken. The New Zealanders were surrounded and outnumbered, but Upham carried on directing fire until he was wounded in the leg and could no longer walk. Legs, I should say, sorry. He was captured and taken as a POW, and he was sent to an Italian hospital where an Italian doctor recommended his wounded arm be amputated. They didn't really have... they had fairly scarce supplies, and they were worried that they weren't really able to prevent or treat gangrene, so it was better to just...
Lop it off.
Just lop it off. He refused. Upham refused.
That's my grenade arm.
In no small part because the operation would have to be carried out without anaesthetic, and he had witnessed other patients dying in agony under surgery. So he's like, not doing that, thanks.
Yeah.
No anaesthetic for surgery. Interesting. He remained in the hospital to recuperate, but attempted to escape numerous times before being branded dangerous by the Germans.
Wait. So he's in a prisoner of war camp.
Yep.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, they still go to their hospitals and go, yeah, we'll just lop your arm off. Like, I'm not trusting the Nazi doctors either.
Yeah, weird, right?
Yeah, that is weird. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You get captured and you're like, all right, you're off to the Nazi hospital. Ugh.
I'm not going to get the best
Am I
treatment.
trusting that they're
Yeah.
going to be giving me the best?
One attempt to escape occurred when a group of POWs were being transported in open trucks through Italy. Upham jumped from the truck at a bend and managed to get about 370 metres away before he was recaptured. He'd broken an ankle in jumping from the moving truck
Oh,
and
no.
ran 370 metres on it.
And when they recaptured him, he said, no, you drive me home. And they did.
Another attempt occurred when he was being moved between prison camps on a civilian train while guarded by 2 Germans. Upham was only allowed to visit the toilet when the train was travelling at high speed to prevent him from jumping through a window. Nevertheless, Upham pried open the toilet window and jumped out onto the tracks, knocking himself unconscious.
Oh, no. When it was going quick.
Yeah, it's going really fast.
Oh.
On a third occasion, he tried to escape a camp by climbing its fences in broad daylight. He became entangled in barbed wire when he fell down between the 2 fences. When a prison guard pointed a pistol at his head and threatened to shoot, Upham calmly ignored him and lit a cigarette.
What?
This scene was photographed by the Germans as evidence and later reprinted in his biography, which is called Mark of the
Oh, I
Lion.
was going to say, that's one of those things you just say, but then he's got a fucking
It's a
photo of it.
After this incident, Upham was considered extremely dangerous and was placed in solitary confinement.
He was also considered extremely cool.
So cool. Superb cool.
Oh, superb. Supreme cool.
So he's in solitary confinement now. So he's only allowed to exercise alone while accompanied by 2 armed guards. So not really alone, is he?
So he's got 2 spotters.
He's got 2 spotters.
Guys, I'm just going to go for the high bars here. So if I fall, if one of you could catch me, that'd be great. Thanks.
You got it, Upham.
All right, and if the other one could just shout encouragement, that'd be really good.
That'd be really helpful because I bloody need it.
I don't have any upper body strength.
I'm working on
Or
it.
bones that are still
Yeah.
attached. Because he looked like a skeleton before.
He's
He looked like a
thin guy.
His skeleton sounds fucked. He wouldn't have a bone that's complete in his body.
All broken. So yeah, he's.
It was just funny how you're like, yeah, they were broken.
We get it, bones.
Yeah.
I mentioned it several times that he broke
Yeah,
some bones.
and I went back and said it a couple of times. Yeah, skeleton.
So he's in solitary confinement. He's got 2 armed guards with him at all time. Despite these precautions, Upham bolted from his little courtyard, straight through the German barracks and out through the front gate of the camp. The guard in the machine gun tower later told other prisoners that he refrained from shooting Upham out of sheer respect.
Wow.
And that as he could see the German soldiers coming up the road, and he thought, well, they'll get him. So he let him get out, and he's like, well, there's German soldiers right there. They'll catch him.
She'll be right.
Weird.
It's very weird. So he was soon recaptured, obviously, by those German soldiers, and he was sent to the infamous Colditz Castle
Oh, that's the castle, yeah.
on the 14th of October 1944.
Whereabouts are we, Dave? Or Jess, probably? But you'd heard of that castle. I don't even
Yeah,
know
it's
what
like
country we're
like
in.
a famous German prisoner of war camp. It's like up on a mountain type thing.
In Germany or somewhere in Europe?
Oh, I think it's in Germany, yeah.
I think so. When Colditz Castle was captured by American forces, most of the inmates made their own way home immediately. Upham joined an American unit, was armed and equipped, and wanted to fight the Germans.
So he's obviously had some healing. His arms come good?
Yeah, I think it's been in there for a while.
Wow.
And his skeleton, which is made up of bones.
Yeah.
The
Had you
skeletal
connected
system.
It's somehow healed itself.
That's wild. This guy's great. I reckon VC actually stands for very cool.
That's offensive to VC winners.
Only in this case.
Okay. Upham was keen to see action again, but was instead sent to Britain, where he was reunited with Molly McTamney.
Tell you what, what's the opposite of action?
Action!
Britain in the
I wanna-
1940s, am
Yeah.
I right? What a drab, dreary town. Not like now. London is a real centre point in the world of culture and good times.
My parents are in London right now.
What?
I miss them so much. I'm really worried about them.
They're having a
Really?
ball.
No, I'm like, it's a big flight over, and I was a bit worried about them. They haven't done a big flight like that before, and I was genuinely quite worried.
Oh, they've never been to Europe.
Never been to Europe.
Oh, they're going to have the best time
Have
of
the
their
best
So
time.
lives.
jealous.
They're having a great time, but I worry about them.
Let's go to Europe.
All right.
Let's get a Colditz Castle.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
I'll genuinely be keen.
Anyway,
Oh, we could do a live pod from a castle.
no, I don't want to do it from there.
No, yeah,
Oh.
that would not be. If it's a real bad.
There's a really cool story where a bunch of prisoners broke out of there with this elaborate escape plan, which would be a sick episode.
Put it in the hat.
Can we put stuff in the hat?
Nah.
No, somebody put it in the hat,
Come on.
please. Anyway, so he goes to Britain. He's reunited with Molly, who was serving as a nurse, and they were married in New Milton in Hampshire on the 20th of June 1945. And he returned to New Zealand in early September, and she followed him in December.
Oh.
So now he's finished with his war
Just
stuff.
in time for Christmas.
Perfect. For his actions that I described earlier, he was awarded a bar to his VC. His citation noted that his complete indifference to danger and his personal bravery have become a byword in the whole of the New Zealand Expeditionary Force.
Awarded a bar. That is a real high honour. Does he have to run it? Or is it like, does the management come in and he just gets to like drink there and hang out or whatever? Or it's more one of those, it's like a setup. It's just, because it's a burden in a lot of ways if it's like a rundown establishment, you know what I mean?
It's a fixer-upper.
If it's a fixer-upper, is that really an honour? You know what I mean?
Remember a few weeks ago where you kept smelling my drink bottle to see if I'd been drinking?
Yeah.
Matt, have you been drinking?
Funnily enough, yes, but not that much.
The difference is that it was a surprise with you, Jess.
I had 2 beers.
Matt's a given.
one beer, actually.
Which is it? 1 or 2?
That means 3.
He's got a problem. Anyway, here's a little fun fact. So he's getting his second VC, right? So King George, what's VI? 6.
Yes.
Yes.
It's actually V, and it's short for.
That's never worked before ever. I just shook my head at him and he shut up.
Just
were you
doing
gonna
a lot
say?
of blocking today.
What were you gonna say?
I felt like I haven't had a lot of support here. I've tried to chase down a few.
Maddie.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, what is it?
I'm trying to have some fun.
What's it short for?
No. Look,
V.
to be honest,
King George V. What is it?
no, it's fine.
I just realised we've got it the wrong way around. It's King George VI. He chose the name George. Albert was his name.
That's what I said before.
No, we said the other way around, I think.
No, I said his name was Albert and then his regnal name was George.
Great.
We said that right. Thanks for interrupting Matt right as he was about to make progress. Matt?
No,
King
it's
George
fine.
V. What
No,
is it?
I
Hey.
get it. You don't want to see me have fun on the show. You want to be the only one who has a good time. No, you and Dave have a fun riff, and I'll sit here and watch.
Well, it's been like that for 98 other episodes. Why change now?
98, you wish, mate.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
So King George V, insert joke here, had invested Upham with his first Victoria Cross at Buckingham Palace back in 1945. When the recommendation was made for the second VC, the King remarked to Major General Howard Kippenberger that a bar to the cross would be very unusual indeed, and firmly said, "Does he deserve it?" And Kippenberger replied, "In my respectful opinion, sir, Upham won the VC several times over."
He's won heaps.
I think that's pretty cool.
Got a whole satchel full.
He's full of satchels.
He's got one satchel with grenades, one Victoria Crosses. You do not want to mix them up. Sir, you are wearing a hand grenade. And I bow to thee.
See that support that Jess just gave Dave on that little riff? Must be nice, Dave. Must be real nice.
It really is. It really is. I've got a satchel full of support over here. Thank you, Jess.
Friendship. Now, back in New Zealand, Upham resisted invitations to take up politics. In appreciation for his heroism, a sum of £10,000 was raised to buy him a farm. He appreciated the tribute, but declined the money, which was used to endow the Charles Upham Scholarship Fund to send sons of ex-servicemen to university.
Oh, he's a good guy, too.
He's such a good dude!
But why would he need a farm? He's already got this bar he's got to fix up. You know?
Yeah.
How many burdens do you need? Oh, you're going to give me a fixer-upper farm as well?
It probably would be, let's be honest.
Yeah.
£10,000.
Come on. What are you buying? Bet it was just like a lavender farm or something. And at the time, lavender had a very low value.
What
I
about
assume.
now?
Oh, now it's through the roof. Would have been a great, if you were thinking ahead, which you obviously wasn't, it would have been a great investment. But, very cool on the sporting field of war. But once he got home to the sporting field of
Life.
civilianarity, he, dropped the ball, sporting-wise, metaphorically speaking, of course.
Do you see why we don't let you riff?
Well, so it's a different. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the support was there. Riffs live or die because of the bouncingness, and
Well, it's hard to bounce when you don't shut the fuck up.
when you just silently shake your head at me. What I call the opposite of support, not a very Upham kind of value. Leave me out there hanging.
Dave, can you please say do go on?
Do go on.
Thank you. Fiercely determined to avoid all publicity, Upham at first refused to return to Britain for a victory parade in 1946 and only gave in at the request of the New Zealand Prime Minister. He has to be like, the Prime Minister's like, Charlie,
Mate, come
mate,
on.
come on, mate.
All right.
Come on.
PM, I'll
It'll
do it for
be
you.
fun. Oh, they say fun the same as us. I was trying to make fun of their accent, but they just sound the same with that one.
Fun.
It'll be fun. Yeah, that's about right. Also in 1946, Upham bought a farm of his own. Didn't need your donations.
Oh, I didn't need a hand-me-down farm.
Bought a farm at Ruffer Downs, some 100 miles north of Christchurch. And he worked, so that's sort of a similar area to where he had worked before the war. And there he finally found the anonymity that he desired. Although somewhat hampered by his injuries, he became a successful farmer and served on the Board of Governors of Christ's College for nearly 20 years. He and Molly had 3 daughters and lived on their farm until January of 94, when Upham's poor health forced him to retire to Christchurch. He died in Canterbury on the 22nd of November in 94, surrounded by his wife and daughters.
The year he retired, he died.
Yeah.
That is... How old was he?
Good question. Well, he was born in... oh, God, I don't even know. He was born in 1908 and died in 1994.
And he retired at 86.
Yep.
That is it, Matt. This is what an incredible guy after all this. And also, he's broken every bone in his body. He's been shot 1 million times.
Yep.
It really hurt.
Do you reckon? Dave's hot take on getting shot.
No, but I mean, like, forever. Your body would never be good.
Yeah.
Matt,
And
do you
you're a
reckon-
farmer till you're 86 and then you
Do you reckon getting shot would hurt, Matt?
I reckon it would. I mean, I haven't had it happen to me. But,
Can we try?
Yeah, kill me.
No, I didn't say kill you.
No, if you're dead, you won't be able to tell us
I
how
just
much
want
it
to
hurt.
shoot you in the shoulder.
I'll let you know as I go out.
Okay, how would you do that?
I just like, that hurts. Give us another one. And then all this pain would be over.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry.
The pain of the wound in my shoulder.
Okay, cool. His funeral was in the Christchurch Cathedral and was conducted with full military honours. The streets of Christchurch were lined by over 5,000 people. Upham is buried in the graveyard of St Paul's Church, and his death was also marked by a memorial service in 1995 in London, attended by representatives of the royal family, senior New Zealand government and political figures, senior members of the British and New Zealand Armed Forces, the commander of the Allied forces in Crete, and the 7th Governor-General of New Zealand, as well as representatives of veterans organisations and other VC and George Cross holders. So
Wow, so people were like, all right, we got to pull out all the stops for this guy.
yeah, it was a pretty big deal. So that is basically my story about Charles Upham, 2-time VC winner.
What an incredible life.
Pretty cool, huh? But also, like, I saw, I found on YouTube, remember this show, This Is Your Life?
Yeah.
God, that was a good show.
Mike Monroe.
But it wasn't Mike Monroe because it was a New
Guy
Zealand version.
Smiley.
New Zealand version. Probably not Guy Smiley.
Mick Manu.
I'm trying to think of Russell
Munry.
Crowe.
But I saw they did one for Charles Upham, and he was like,
Oh, he was on it?
yeah,
he
was.
agreed to be on it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't really give you a choice, do they? Because I don't think he would agree to do
They
it.
ambushed him on
They
the
do.
on the farm.
They do.
Hey, Upham. Oh, fuck.
Not on the
It's
farm.
Mike Monroe.
But they ambushed him, and they took him in, and he just like...
And he pulled out a bag of hand grenades and started throwing.
It's actually terrible television.
Oh, is it?
Because he's
He's not
so
into it.
modest, and he's not into it. He doesn't want to talk about himself.
That's
and
interesting.
So
'Cause
he's
he
just
would have
kind
had
of
to
like
have signed off on it to let them
yeah, of
put
course.
it to air, but he would have been like, oh, you've made such a fuss. I don't want to ruin everyone's time.
But he's just kind of like looking down a lot, and like he's listening, but he's not really engaged all that much. It's like it's hard to watch, but it's just because of the nature of that person.
So when did he die?
94.
94. So this is in the early 90s?
I reckon even late 80s, possibly. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
it was a long time ago. But yeah, very cool. But you often get that as well. With all of them, they tend to just be quite humble and I remember one of them quite recently. I wish I remembered which one it was. It was an Australian guy, but like didn't tell his wife or something that he was being awarded the VC.
Didn't tell.
Just I didn't want to make a fuss.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Do you want to hear just something real quick, like a little fun fact as well?
I would love to. Matt doesn't get to say.
Did you know
Just go with me.
that there's a Victoria Cross equivalent for animals?
I did not know.
It's called the Dickin Medal. And it's to honour the work of animals in World War II. That's when it started. It's a bronze medallion. It says the words "for gallantry" on it, and we also serve. And it's mostly, I've got a list here of recipients of the Dickin Medal. Most of them. What animal do you think they are?
Dogs?
Donkeys?
Horses?
Dogs are up there, especially sort of later or more recently.
Camels?
A few horses.
Giant tortoises?
Mostly in the
Mice.
early days.
Parrots?
Pigeons.
Pigeons?
The
Courier
first one
Carrier
was a
pigeon.
pigeon called White Vision in December of 1943. Delivered a message that led to the rescue of a ditched aircrew in October 1943. She flew 9 hours in bad visibility.
That is incredible.
That is
pigeon
amazing.
got a medal. That's so great.
Jeez.
Uh,
That's so good.
yeah, anyway, I just thought that was a real
Do
fun
you think all the other pigeons have to bow to it now?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Assuming it's still going.
They know the rules.
That's 9-hour flight. That is pretty great.
It's pretty great.
I mean, it is. It's.
Does the bird know it's getting an
Yeah.
award, though?
Does the bird know it's done anything good?
Yeah, the
Good job,
bird's
light
like,
vision.
the bird's like, I'd prefer it just a bit of light rye, to be honest. That'd be much nicer.
Pull out the bread gun.
Get the bread gun.
Get the bread gun. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Fire up the bread gun.
Funk.
Anyway, that's my report. Thank you. Matt, I just want to extend a
I'd
very
give
sincere...
you a,
Are you serious?
I was going to give you a medal
mark.
for valor.
I was about to offer a very sincere apology for shutting you down, and as I went to do that, you interrupted me.
Is that karma? Is that the karma bus?
Will these two ever get along?
I was I was going to say I'd give you a report a bronze Dickens award for being a real dog.
You're the best dog here.
No, the report, you dildo, not the fucking Jess.
Did I just get a dildo medal?
Giving you a brass dildo, Dave. for
Oh, great.
Best sidekick.
Make everyone bow down to it.
Yeah. To the dildo?
Yeah.
Are you carrying
And
it
you
around
can
with
only go up. Forever up. Forever up. Well, thank you so much to our golden hat suggestion there.
you? Yep, Stuart Alcock, thank you very much.
Stuart Alcock, so good. Is Stuart a New Zealander, do we think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
To have,
Maybe.
to have such a cool New Zealand hero. Man, thank you so much, Stuart. A cracking topic that, if it hadn't gone to the golden hat, perhaps never would have made it onto the show. So there
I'd
you
never
go.
heard of Stick It Right Up 'em.
Me
Yeah.
either, but I like him. What a champ.
Yeah.
He probably is the baddest of the
He
badasses.
does sound like the baddest ass, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the worst ass of the lot.
Oh, so bad. Ugh.
His ass is awful.
It's all over the shop.
Ugh.
Oh, it just goes up.
But, you know,
Mm.
up him.
Up 'em. Right up 'em.
Took me a second to get it.
If you would like to support the show via Patreon, like our good friend Stuart Alcock has done via the Golden Hat, you can hit up patreon.com/dogoonpod. Going to release our bonus monthly episode very, very soon, if you want to get on that bandwagon. We'd also like to thank, along with Stuart, a couple of other people that support the show through Patreon.
Yes. May I kick it off?
Oh, Jess, please do.
Well, I'd like to thank a couple of people. The first one, it's actually someone that we know because we've met this person at, firstly, a Planet Broadcasting
Are you
launch.
about to thank Matt?
We have met Matt.
Unfortunately.
You thanking Phil Kidd again?
I'm not
He
thanking
seems to be getting thanked every
I
time.
love Phil Kidd.
Jess just loves Phil Kidd.
I love Phil Kidd. He's
got
coming to the 100th.
He's got $1 million smile, Phil Kidd.
Phil Kidd. Sorry for saying your name so many times, Phil Kidd, but also not, because it's a cool name. But the other person that we would like to thank, who we met at the same time we met Phil Kidd, and who also came to a couple of our live shows at the Comedy Festival, a very, very lovely friend of ours from here in Melbourne, Soph Waldron.
Oh, Soph, what a legend.
Thank
Front
you, Soph. I wonder if Soph has bought a ticket to our 100th episode. She'll feel guilty now if she hasn't. But thank you, Soph. We appreciate
I think
your
we
support.
should award each of these listeners what award would you give Soph, Jess?
Oh, okay. A military award.
That might be. I don't know if that might be a little offensive.
How about a daytime Emmy?
Daytime Emmy? Great.
Yes.
I don't know if she quite deserves a military award. I don't know. Maybe she does.
No, I was wondering what your criteria was. What
Yeah.
type of award?
I reckon. Yeah.
Daytime Emmy, good one.
Yeah, that is
yes,
good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Daytime Emmy is. That is a very funny sounding award.
That sounds funny. It's real.
The other person that I would like to thank as well, while we're here, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
This time, not as local as Soph in Melbourne. This all the way from Virginia.
Which is where the Mothman prophecies occurred.
It was West Virginia.
Mountain Mama. Damn it.
I'd really like to thank
The Mothman.
the Mothman himself.
No, the prophecies come true. Get off the
He's
bridge.
trying to warn us.
If anyone is
you
listening to
stop
this going over the
spoiling it?
bridge,
Can you stop spoiling it? I
Sorry.
haven't listened yet.
I'm trying to save a life.
I don't care.
You should've
You're
listened.
ruining a story. No, I'd like to thank the Mothman himself, Brad Smith.
Brad Smith's the Mothman.
Brad Smith.
Brad Smith, you naughty Mothman, you.
Brad Smith, great name.
I think
I like
Brad.
it's a rock solid name. I love a rock solid name like Brad Smith.
Brad
He
Smith.
sounds like he could have been a cowboy.
Probably.
And what award do you give?
Oh, I'm not good at awards.
What
don't-
about the Academy Award for Best Foreign Film? Brad from Virginia.
That's foreign to us.
Oh, no, us. All right,
Okay,
great.
that'll do.
Could I thank a couple?
Yeah, I'm going to try and think of some
Please.
awards.
Great. I'd love to thank. Oh, and I know both of these people.
That's exciting.
Dan Barley, who I met at our Sydney live show. It's a bloody gentleman.
We all met Dan.
He's he had maybe the most svelte guns that I'd ever seen. It was a gun show, and
And a tattoo show.
and a tattoo show. It was a double feature, and tell you what, I could not take my eyes off those guns. I did. I mean, I probably glanced at him briefly. It would have been a weird
If you just-
conversation otherwise.
You're transfixed.
Real nice guy. I liked him a lot. What
Thanks,
award would you
Dan.
give him, Jess?
I would give Dan, I just Googled obscure awards, and I would give Dan the Stellar Award for the dumbest lawsuit.
Wow.
Dan Barley.
Dan knows what he did.
He works in advertising, I think.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's what we
So,
bloody get.
so
That's what we
obviously
bloody get,
that makes quite a bit of sense. And also, I'd love to thank Pete Curry, my boss. He runs the Quizmasters Trivia. You laughing at?
Are you laughing
Are
at
you laughing at the idea of trivia?
Pete Curry's
The
not
idea
right.
that I've got a boss.
No, not at all. I'm trying to find other awards, and these are all terrible awards that I cannot give to nice people like Pete.
Well, Pete Curry, who I am also a big, big fan of. Hello, Pete. There's always a 50-50 question in the Quizmasters quiz that Pete runs, which is real award or fake award.
Oh, there is too.
Yeah.
That's one of the. Is it the last?
Yeah, the last question
Last
is this
question
a real
before the final
award?
question.
And then
Well-
sometimes they throw in like little funny ones like the Peter Curry Award for best home renovation.
Great.
That
good
is
stuff.
a very funny
Well,
one.
maybe
No, but all the hosts go, that's my boss.
Well, maybe Pete would have heard of the Ernie Awards for the most sexist comment.
Oh, no.
That one goes to bloody Charlie Upham. This one's for the men.
Yeah. Charles,
I have not-
no.
I'm not taking any bullets for any of the women. I'll tell you that much.
What's the award for sexiest comment? Because that's much better.
The Bert Awards.
Oh, yeah.
The sexist were Ernie. Do you get it? Bert and Ernie.
I do.
Do you get it?
I get it. I love it.
Matt, do you get my joke?
I do. I get it so much, and I want to dedicate that joke of Jess's just then to Pete Curry and Dan Barley, because I think you guys deserve that joke more than anyone.
To Pete and Dan.
Bert and Ernie.
I would,
Our Bert and Ernie.
I would like to thank a couple of people too now, if I may.
Ugh, all
Pete's
right.
also got svelte guns, by the way.
Oh, I can't get my eyes off him.
Svelte guns.
I've never seen this man's guns, but I reckon he's got a gun collection.
Oh.
He's got guns.
He sounds like he's got money.
He's got guns in his legs.
Guns in his legs?
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
Probably the recipient of the Usain Bolt Award for Best Leg Guns.
Oh, you're slipping, mate.
Or a Grammy
Yay!
for Best Urban Album.
Yeah, he saved it.
It's Tom Price from the urban capital of the UK, Shropshire.
Shropshire. How wonderful.
I love Shropshire so much. I love you so much. That's my new voice. Trying that out, Tom. What do you think?
The only way you can do it is doing this weird rat face.
His face is fucked. I love it so much, though.
Maybe I'll do a little video about
It
it.
looks like that dog. You know that dog that always wins ugliest dog in the world?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
You know that meme that was like Stephen with a V?
Yeah, that's who he looks
That's what he looks like.
like. Steve with the
I don't know that meme, but I'm fucking offended. I just want to do my little voice.
Stephen with a V.
I just want to do my voice.
I'm going to find it now. No, Stephen with a PH. And it was like, Stephen.
Oh, at least say the H correctly, please.
H.
Thank you. Oh, that felt good to get it back a little bit. Tom Price, that was for you, that little outburst. And I'd also like to thank... We are ending in our favourite state of all. from Canton, Ohio.
We gotta do a split screen photo of that. That's the photo I was thinking of. Have you seen it yet, Dave? Why aren't you laughing along? Oh, I guess you haven't seen it yet, but that's what you look like.
I haven't looked in the mirror. I don't know what my face looks like when I do my little voice.
Stephen. Very, very good. That is the dog that you look like. You look like that dog from the internet when you do the face. It is very, very good.
Oh, that was great.
I would like to thank all the way from Canton, Ohio, just outside of Akron, Ohio. Mr.
We say Akron wrong. Remember?
Oh, sorry, Akron.
Akron. No, that's not it.
That's right. That's so much worse.
Let's stick with Canton, Ohio. Scott Wilkinson.
Oh,
Scott Wilkinson.
Wilco. He's a big Ohio guy. If I'm
Wilco.
thinking of the right guy, he's got an Ohio mascot.
Big tweeter.
Big tweeter.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. You're a gun. Wow, it's all guns today.
Sorry for
We've-
interrupting your thank there with just losing it over that meme. But
No, it's okay. I just get to do my little voice.
Stephen. That's great. We're taking a photo of that for sure.
I will not allow it. Will not allow it.
Oh, shit. That was the best.
Now, if you two would like to support the show that supports you, if you're Matt, Jess, or Dave, head over to patreon.com/dogoonpod. And you can get bonus episodes, shout-outs, and you get to vote for my topic. I just did the poll today for what will be our 100th episode.
Oh, that's exciting. Wait, so you're doing the report so Matt and I don't have to do anything?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
So good.
So
Love
good.
it.
I love that.
Jess, you just have to sell the T-shirts.
Okay, done. I can do that. I worked in
Beautiful.
retail for a long time.
Come on down. If you have a ticket, please do come to the European Beer Cafe this Saturday at 5 o'clock. It's going to be a gay old time.
That'd be bloody ripper.
Also, my fringe show with Alistair Tremblay-Birchall from the Two in the Think Tank podcast starts tonight, Wednesday, the whatever today is, maybe the 15th or something like that. 13th, 14th.
13th?
13th, lucky for some. Nah. All right, and it's on at the courthouse at 9:30 p.m. And I think it's going to be pretty good.
That'd
It'll
be
be a
great.
great time. Is there tickets at melbournefringe.com.au?
Yes, just search for Alan Matt Go Harveys, and there's a discount code for Do Go On listeners, and that discount code is Do Go On, no spaces. Makes sense?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Do Goon, kids.
Holy shit, that was so fun.
All right, guys. Well, for everyone coming to our live show, we'll see you there. And for everyone at home, the next time you hear us, it will be our 100th episode. I've put three sweet
Spooky.
topics in the hat. Either what you can't go wrong with this one. Cannot go wrong.
Awesome. Cannot wait.
You normally put in a dud or two.
Not this time.
Two duds. 2 duds and 1 good one. And I hope they pick right. They always pick right. They always pick good. All right, guys. We'll be back next week. But until then, I will say thank you and goodbye.
Laters.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you. 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 It's up to you.